Why different paths contradict each other in spirituality, and how to decide which is the best path.
So, contradiction in different paths. Well, in absolute reality, as I mentioned earlier, that there is no distance to travel. What you're seeking, what you're really seeking, is right here. So, when there is no distance, that means there are no paths. Because if there is no distance, where is the need of path? But most people will not understand this. So, for a person who is seeing things in duality, subject object, relationship, and so at the surface, it may appear that there are many different paths, and of course, there you may see many types of contradictions. Let's take an example here. In the audio guide on True Self, we discussed about four major categories. Let's take the example of the path of devotion, Bhakti Yoga, and the path of knowledge, the Gyan Yoga. It may appear that these are two opposite paths because in the audio guide we discussed that there are many layers of mind, and in case of Bhakti Yoga, you are not using the layer of your mind which is intellect, which helps in analysis and dividing things into good, bad, right, wrong, and all. You are using another layer of your mind which is emotion. So here you start with a belief. So you have not used your intellect, you are simply starting with a belief that what you are seeking is everywhere and there is nothing else. On the other hand, a Gyan Yogi, a person who is using his intellect, and is not ready to believe anything which you have not experienced so far, which is not in your experience so far. So basically, you are a seeker of knowledge, seeker of truth, and you are neither accepting anything which is not in your experience, nor you're rejecting it, because there is a possibility that it exists, but it is not in my experience yet. So these two paths may appear it may appear that there are many contradictions and these are opposite paths. But as soon as you enter deeper into any of the path, whether it is bhakti or Gyan Yoga, ultimately you realize that all these methods, paths, techniques, tricks, everything is just to transcend your mind, to break this identification with the mind, this wrong identity that this mind has assumed. When you are in Bhakti Yoga, you are in a surrender mode. You have surrendered your identity, your ego, everything to the ultimate. And you have a strong belief that there is nothing else here except the ultimate. So there is no separate you. In this surrender mode, gradually your intellect also shows you how the true nature of this reality is non-dual. So ultimately, regardless of which path you choose, you reach the same point. You transcend the mind, wherein you experientially realize that you are not this body or mind. You are beyond that. In case of Gyan Yoga, when you use your intellect to discard what is you, what is not you, you keep on discarding what is not you. You can witness the sensations of your body. You discard that. As discarding does not mean that you cut it off. It simply means that you realize that that's not me. I can witness this. Whatever I can witness cannot be me. So gradually you reach a point wherein this division between subject object merges, and you exponentially feel the non-dual nature of reality. So this sense of devotion, surrender automatically comes. At the surface it may appear that these two paths are very different and the approach is different. Of course, at surface it may appear like that, but ultimately you reach the same point of non-identification with the false self and realizing the true self. Same goes with Karma Yoga. Regardless of whether you're following Bhakti Yoga, path of devotion, surrender, or the path of Jnana Yoga, ultimately Karma Yoga happens automatically, because your body and mind has certain responsibilities. It may have to get involved in certain tasks every day. So as soon as you reach a point wherein you are in complete surrender mode, or you are in touch with the reality through Jnana Yoga, and Karma Yoga happens automatically. Your body and mind will get involved in activities and you'll perform them selflessly as a service without any sense of doership. So all these paths may appear very different, but they are all the same. Ultimately, there is no path, there is no distance, there is no separate you. There is no separate you who lost or got away from the reality. Hence, who will achieve it. And achieve what? How can you achieve something which was never lost?